Hey guys, I am boarding a friend's carpet python. It's a beautiful snake that he recently got off of Craigslist, but he wasn't told that it has an underlying issue, a thermal burn. This is what happens when you do not use a heat mat with a thermostat. I see this far too often in snakes because people don't quite realize that if you use a heat mat, you need to use a thermostat with it or it can and will often overheat, and this is what happens as a result. This thermal burn is not going to kill the snake, at least it shouldn't. It doesn't look bad enough to be deadly, but it's going to need some serious medical treatment in order to heal. The first thing we're going to do is start giving him daily baths in diluted betadine. And what we're going to do with that betadine is take it and dilute it in warm water about 80 to 85 degrees and just give him a bath in it. You add enough betadine so that the bath water looks like tea. This will help prevent infection of the belly, and by doing it once a day, and waiting for a couple of sheds, it should hopefully start improving. We're also, just to be safe, going to be giving him some antibiotic injections once every 3 days for a week or so, and we will see what he looks like afterwards. He also has a little bit of stuck shed, and hopefully after the bath in the betadine solution, we can get that off. The betadine acts as an antiseptic, which is what helps prevent the infection of the burn, and you can find this on Amazon, and you may be able to find it at a local pharmacy too. Amazingly, even though this is just its first bath, some of the scabbing is already starting to come off. Now this burn is going to be pretty tender, so I don't want to peel this part off. I'm going to let him do that himself in his temporary kind of medical treatment cage that I have set up for him. However, what I do still want to do is weigh him so that I can properly dose his antibiotics, which this may be interesting to weigh this guy. Let's see how this goes. Okay, 350 grams. So you're gonna need a really small amount of antibiotics, dude. I know, you're not gonna like this, dude. Should help make you feel better, though. There we go, that's it. That's it. And finally, the last thing I'm going to do, since apparently there were a couple mites found on him recently, I'm going to treat him for mites using my diluted ivermectin solution. So Rissa, who we found out is a female, just had her first shed. It's in one piece, and look inside of the mouth. That's her scab! Can't wait to see what she looks like now! But first, now the question is, are you feeling good enough to eat? Oh. Hello. You weren't supposed to come out. Does that mean you're hungry? Oh, strike pose at me. Here, eat this instead. Oh yeah, I think we feel good enough to eat now. Alright, so our carpet python is in here right now. She loves her tube. But look at this. Her shed is one complete piece, which I love seeing in snakes, especially snakes that are sick or injured like she is. And then inside here, yes, that is definitely part of the, let's see if I can get this to focus a little bit better. This is definitely the scab from her belly that came off in the shed. So I'm really curious to see what she looks like without that scab. Awesome, we got the eye caps too. All right. Let's put that aside and see how she looks. Girl, you're not on that side, are you? Oh, you're in there. How are we going to get you out? Come here. Probably gonna strike at me because you're a carpet python. Come on. Oh, look at that strike pose right at my hand. Let's see what happens here. Can you come out? I'm just gonna go for it and I might get tagged. Let's come right on out. And again, with arboreal species that are a little testy, you want to scoop them up from underneath instead of reaching from in front or above like a predator would. And by tickling their tail, that usually encourages them to come out of hiding spots. There we go, she's finally come out. Just look at her, she is so pretty. And she actually is eating really well for us now. She was only eating live before we got her, I guess, but she's been eating frozen thawed for us with no hesitation, actually. So we're going to take her off of this log and check her out. Wow, she looks so much brighter after that shed. That's awesome to see. And I've been meaning to look her over for mites after she's done with her mite treatment. And a lot of arboreal pythons, or any snakes with pits really, if they get mites, they're gonna get mites in those pits. So I'm gonna look in those too. I don't see any there, or around the eyes. So it looks like her mites are gone. That's great. Also, her antibiotic shots are done. Now let's look at that belly. Oh my gosh. That looks so much better after she's shed. Look at that.
Oh, that's insane.
Right? Just one shed and it came off. That is crazy. So that means most of her scabbing came off with this shed right here. That is so great to see. Look, there's, I mean, of course, still some, well, yeah, scarring, scabbing. It might be a scar too. We'll see. We'll give her another shed or two, but she's looking so much better. She does have a little bit of a scar here on the side of her neck. We're not exactly sure what that's from. The scales look a little funny, but maybe after a couple more sheds, that might get taken care of too. Even though she's not technically my pet and we're just watching her for a little bit, maybe we'll have to do a Feed My Pet Friday on her. So to treat a thermal burn in a reptile, give them a bath in diluted betadine once a day for about 15 minutes, and you can also treat them with over-the-counter medicines such as Curacin, which is safe for reptiles. I'll put a link to it in the description below. But if the burn is serious enough, you may need antibiotics from your vet. But the best thing to do is to avoid thermal burns altogether by using proper heating equipment. Thanks for watching this carpet python's recovery story, and we'll see you next time.